Admiral Lisa Carter stood at the window of her office on Earth Defense Station Alpha. She watched the blue planet turn slowly below her. Earth looked peaceful. It had been peaceful for 50 years. While the galaxy burned with war, Earth stayed safe. Lisa remembered the day the war started. The Xanathi Empire and the Coalition of Free Worlds had been fighting for decades. Millions of ships, billions of lives lost. But Earth said no. Earth would not pick a side. "Admiral, we have a problem," said her aide, walking into the office. Lieutenant Sam Rodriguez looked worried. He was young, maybe 26 years old. His uniform was clean and pressed. "What kind of problem?" Lisa asked. She turned away from the window. Another colony ship missed its check-in time. That makes 6 this month. Lisa felt a cold feeling in her stomach. Earth had many colonies in the outer systems. They were supposed to send messages every week, but lately some had gone quiet. "Which one this time?" she asked. "New Denver?" "They were supposed to call yesterday." Lisa walked to her desk. She touched the screen and saw a map of human space. Red dots showed the missing colonies. They were all far from Earth, near the edge of human territory. "Get me Captain Jake Morrison," she said. A few minutes later, Jake's face appeared on the screen. He was on his ship, the EDS Guardian. Jake was 34 and looked tired. His dark hair was messy. "Admiral, what can I do for you?" Jake asked. "I need you to check on New Denver. They missed their call." Jake rubbed his face. "That's the 6th one, right?" "Something's not right out here." "I know, but we have to follow protocol. Go look." "Report back." "Yes, ma'am." The screen went dark. Lisa looked at the map again. The red dots seemed to stare back at her. On Lunar Research Station, Dr. Marcus Webb was working late again. The space station orbited Earth's moon. Marcus was studying alien technology that Earth had bought from traders. Both sides in the war sold weapons to Earth. Earth sold food and medicine back to them. Marcus picked up a small device. It was Xanathi technology, supposed to be a shield generator. But when he tested it, strange readings came up on his computer. "That's not right," he said to himself. The energy patterns were different from normal Xanathi tech. They looked older. Much older. Marcus ran the test again. Same result. He checked his equipment. Everything worked fine. Where did this come from? He wondered. He pulled up the records. A trader had sold it to Earth last month. The trader said he found it in a wrecked ship near the war zone. Marcus saved his data and made a note to investigate more tomorrow. But something bothered him. The energy signature reminded him of something he had seen before. 3 days later, Captain Morrison reached the New Denver system. What he found made him sick. The colony ship was there, but it was dead. No lights, no power, no life signs. "Guardian to New Denver, please respond," he said into his radio. Silence. Jake ordered his crew to scan the ship. What they found was worse than he expected. "Captain," said his science officer, "there's no one alive on that ship. But there's something else." "What?" "The damage patterns. They're not from Xanathi or coalition weapons." Jake looked at the readings. Huge holes were burned through the ship's hull. The metal around the holes looked melted and twisted. "What could do this?" he asked. "I don't know, sir. I've never seen anything like it." Jake recorded everything. He took pictures and collected metal samples from the wreckage. Then he flew back to Earth as fast as he could. Admiral Carter read Jake's report 3 times. Then she called Dr. Webb. "Marcus, I need you to look at something," she said. An hour later, Dr. Webb was in Carter's office. Jake was there too, looking grim. "Show him the samples," Carter said. Marcus examined the twisted metal under a microscope. His face grew pale. "This energy signature," he said slowly. "I've seen it before." Where? Carter asked. In some tech that traders brought us. I thought it was old Xanathi equipment, but now I'm not sure. Jake leaned forward. What are you saying? I think someone else is out there. Someone we haven't met yet. Carter felt that cold feeling again. How many ships could do this kind of damage? I don't know, Marcus said. But if they destroyed New Denver this easily, they could destroy any of our colonies. Carter called an emergency meeting of the Earth Council. The 12 leaders of Earth's regions gathered in the Great Hall in Geneva. We have a situation, Carter told them. She explained about the missing colonies and the strange weapon signatures. Council leader, Patricia Stone from North America, spoke. First, you're asking us to abandon 50 years of neutrality because of some metal samples? I'm asking you to prepare for a possible threat, Carter replied. The war is not our problem, said Council Leader Chun Wei from Asia. Earth is safe. Earth is prosperous. Why should we risk that? The debate went on for hours. Some wanted to investigate. Others wanted to ignore the problem and hope it would go away. In the end, they voted 7-5. Earth would continue its policy of neutrality. Carter left the meeting feeling frustrated. She knew something bad was coming. She could feel it. That night, she stood at her window again, looking at Earth. The planet still looked peaceful. But Lisa knew that peace might not last much longer. In space, far beyond human territory, something ancient was stirring. Ships that looked like nothing humans had ever seen were moving through the darkness. They had been watching. They had been testing. And now they were coming. The quiet peace that Earth had enjoyed for 50 years was about to end. Whether Earth was ready or not, the war was coming home. The alarm started screaming at 3 a.m, Earth time. Admiral Lisa Carter jumped out of bed and ran to the command center. Officers were rushing around, pointing at screens and shouting orders. Report! Carter yelled over the noise. Admiral? We have contacts at the edge of the solar system, said Lieutenant Rodriguez. 50 ships, maybe more. They just appeared out of nowhere. Carter looked at the main screen. The ships were huge, bigger than anything humans had ever built. They looked wrong somehow. Dark metal twisted into shapes that hurt to look at. Are they Xanathi or Coalition? She asked. No, ma'am. We've never seen anything like them. Carter's blood turned cold. Get me General Kevin Hayes. Wake up the whole defense fleet. And call Ambassador Claire Thompson. We might need to talk to these people. Within an hour, Earth's small defense fleet was ready. 30 ships against 50 unknowns. The math did not look good. General Hayes arrived at the command center. He was 52 years old and had gray hair. His uniform had many medals on it. What's the situation? He asked. Unknown ships. Unknown technology. They're not responding to our messages. Hayes studied the screen. We should attack first. Hit them before they get closer to Earth. We don't know if they're hostile, Carter said. They destroyed our colonies. That sounds hostile to me. Ambassador Thompson arrived next. She was 41 and always looked calm, even in crisis. She wore a blue dress instead of a uniform. Has anyone tried talking to them? She asked. We've been sending messages for an hour, Rodriguez said. No response. Thompson sat down at a communication station. Let me try. She opened a channel to the alien ships. Unknown vessels. This is Ambassador Claire Thompson representing Earth and all human colonies. We wish to speak with you peacefully. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the screen flickered. A face appeared that made everyone in the room step backward. The alien looked almost human, but wrong. Its skin was gray and seemed to move like liquid. Its eyes were completely black. When it spoke, its voice sounded like metal scraping on stone. Humans, it said, we are the Voidborn. Your time of hiding is over. Thompson tried to stay calm. We greet you, Voidborn. We are peaceful people. Perhaps we can discuss whatever problems exist between us. The alien laughed. The sound made everyone's skin crawl. Problems? You are vermin. You spread too fast. You pollute the galaxy with your kind. This will end. We have lived in peace for 50 years, Thompson said. We have harmed no one. You have harmed the order of things. The galaxy was clean before your species learned to travel between stars. Now you infest system after system. General Hayes stepped forward. Are you the ones who destroyed our colonies? The Voidborn's black eyes seemed to focus on him. We tested you. We studied how you fight, how you die. You are weak but stubborn. This makes you dangerous. Carter felt sick. You killed innocent people just to test us? We kill all vermin eventually. Your colonies were simply first. The transmission cut off. A moment later, new alarms started ringing. Admiral, the alien ships are moving, Rodriguez reported. They're heading for Mars. Carter grabbed the communication system. All ships, this is Admiral Carter. Prepare for combat. Protect Mars colony at all costs. The first battle between humans and Voidborn lasted 3 hours. Captain Jake Morrison led 6 patrol ships against 2 Voidborn scouts near Mars. The alien ships moved like nothing Jake had ever seen. They flowed through space like water, changing direction without slowing down. Their weapons fired beams of purple energy that cut through human shields like paper. Guardian to all ships, Jake said into his radio. Don't fight them like normal. Enemies, they're too fast. Use the asteroids for cover. Jake's ship dove behind a large rock just as a purple beam passed where he had been. The beam hit the asteroid and turned half of it into vapor. These things are way ahead of us in technology, his weapons officer said. Maybe, but they fight like they expect us to run, Jake replied. Let's surprise them. Instead of retreating, Jake ordered his ships to spread out and attack from all sides. The Voidborn scouts seemed confused by this tactic. They expected humans to run away. Jake's ship fired everything it had at one scout. The alien ship's shields held, but Jake noticed something important. Did you see that? He asked his crew. See? What, Captain? Their shields flickered for just a second when we hit them with everything at once. Jake called the other ships. Concentrate all fire on one target. Hit it with everything you have. The 6 human ships fired together. Purple and white beams lit up space. The Voidborn scouts' shields failed. The ship exploded in a ball of green fire. The second scout seemed shocked. It stopped moving for a moment, as if it couldn't believe what happened. That moment was enough. Jake's ships destroyed it 2 back on Earth. Dr. Marcus Webb was studying the battle recordings. What he saw gave him an idea. Their technology is more advanced than ours, he told Admiral Carter, but it's designed to fight enemies who think the same way they do. What do you mean? Carter asked. The Voidborn seem to fight in patterns, like they're following rules, but humans don't follow those rules. Marcus pulled up data on his computer. Look at this. When Captain Morrison attacked from multiple directions, their ships didn't know how to respond. It's like they've never seen that tactic before. Carter studied the information. Can we use this? Maybe, but we need to understand their technology better. And we need help. The help came sooner than expected. A message arrived from deep space. It was from the Xanathi Empire. Humans of Earth, the message said. We are Fleet Commander Zara of the Xanathi Empire. The Voidborn have destroyed 70% of our fleet. They have done the same to the coalition forces. We propose an alliance. Carter, Hayes, and Thompson watched the message together. The Xanathian coalition have been fighting for decades. Thompson said, if they're willing to work together, The situation must be really bad. Hayes nodded. We need all the help we can get. Carter made her decision. Send a reply. Tell them we accept their proposal. But before the message could be sent, new alarms started ringing. This time, they were much louder. Admiral, Rodriguez called out, we have a big problem. The main Void-born fleet is moving toward Earth. On the screen, hundreds of alien ships appeared. They were heading straight for Earth's solar system. Carter felt her heart pounding. How long until they get here? 6 hours, ma'am. Carter looked around the command center. Everyone was scared, but ready to fight. Send the message to the Xanathi. She said, tell them to hurry. Can get me Captain Morrison. Jake's face appeared on screen. He was still near Mars, and his ship showed damage from the battle. Admiral, what are your orders? Fall back to Earth, Captain. We're going to make our. Stand here. Yes, ma'am, but Admiral, what is it? We hurt them today. They're not as tough as they want us to think. Carter almost smiled. Good. We're going to need every advantage we can get. As the void-born fleet approached Earth, people around the world looked up at the sky. Many were afraid, but some, like Jake Morrison, were ready to fight. The war had finally come to Earth, but Earth was not going to give up without a fight. The void-born ships reached Earth just as the sun was setting over North America. Admiral Carter watched from her command station as purple beams started falling from the sky. Earth's defense platforms fired back, but their weapons barely scratched. The alien ships. Evacuation centers are at full capacity, reported Lieutenant Rodriguez. But some people are refusing to leave their homes. Carter understood. Earth had been safe for so long that many people couldn't believe it was really under attack. The first void-born landing ships came down in major cities around the world. They were huge black pyramids that crushed buildings when they landed. Doors opened in the sides, and alien soldiers marched out. Colonel Nick Peterson was in New York when the first pyramid came down in Central Park. He was 39 years old and commanded Earth's best Marine unit. When he saw the aliens, he immediately started organizing resistance. All units, this is Colonel Peterson, he said into his radio. The enemy is on the ground. Fight them in the streets. Use the buildings for cover. The void-born soldiers were 7 feet tall and covered in black armor. They carried weapons that fired purple energy blasts. But Peterson noticed something important right away. They're strong, he told his Marines, but they move like robots. They don't adapt. If we change our tactics, they get confused. Peterson's Marines used hidden-run attacks. They would pop out of buildings, shoot at the aliens, then disappear before the void-born could respond. The aliens seemed to expect humans to line up and fight face-to-face, not in London. Engineer Maya Davis was working in her basement laboratory when the attack started. She was 31 years old and specialized in weapons technology. When she heard the explosions outside, she knew what she had to do. Maya had been studying alien technology that Dr. Webb had shared with Earth scientists. She grabbed pieces of void-born equipment that had fallen from damaged ships and started working. If I can combine their energy systems with our targeting computers, she muttered to herself, maybe I can make something that can hurt them. She worked for 6 hours straight while the battle raged above her. Finally, she had something new. A rifle that used void-born energy technology, but was controlled by human electronics. Maya ran upstairs and found Colonel Peterson's Marines fighting in the street. Colonel, try this, she shouted, throwing him the new weapon. Peterson caught the rifle and fired it at a void-born soldier. The purple beam went right through the alien's armor. The soldier fell down and didn't get up. How many of these can you make? Peterson asked. Give me more alien parts, and I'll make hundreds. Meanwhile, in the Pacific Ocean, Captain Tony Mitchell was commanding a submarine when the attack began. He was 42 and had spent his whole career underwater. But when he saw the void-born ships in orbit, he had an idea. If space is like the ocean, he thought, then maybe submarine tactics will work. Mitchell took his submarine to the surface and modified its systems. He used stealth technology to hide from void-born sensors, then fired missiles at their ships. From unexpected directions, the aliens couldn't understand how humans were attacking them from the water. Their ships were designed to fight in space, not against submarines on Earth's surface. Dr. Marcus Webb was working frantically in his laboratory on Luna Station. He had discovered something important about void-born technology. They use quantum computers, he told Admiral Carter over the communication link. But their programming is rigid. If I can create a virus that spreads through their network, it might disrupt their systems. Can you do it? Carter asked. I'm trying, but I need more time. Time was something Earth didn't have. More void-born ships kept arriving. They were bombing cities and landing more troops. But humans were fighting back in ways the aliens didn't expect. In Tokyo, citizens were using the subway tunnels to move around without being seen. They would pop up behind void-born soldiers and attack with whatever weapons they could find. In Moscow, people were using the city's old nuclear bunkers as bases for resistance fighters. The void-born couldn't find them underground. In São Paulo, engineers were building traps in the streets. When void-born vehicles tried to pass, they would fall into hidden pits or get caught in electric nets. Captain Jake Morrison was leading the space battle above Earth. His small fleet was outnumbered 50-1, but they were using tactics the void-born had never seen. Don't fight their big ships, Jake told his pilots. Go after their communication arrays, blind them. Human fighters were small and fast. They could slip between the giant void-born ships and attack their weak points. The aliens were used to fighting big fleets in organized formations. They didn't know how to deal with swarms of tiny ships attacking from all directions. Lieutenant Sam Rodriguez had become one of Jake's best pilots. He was leading a group of fighters against a void-born command ship when he noticed something. Captain Morrison, their command ship is trying to coordinate all the others, Sam reported. If we can take it out, the rest might get confused. Too dangerous, Jake replied. That ship has too much firepower. Maybe, but someone has to try. Sam didn't wait for permission. He dove his fighter straight at the command ship, dodging purple beams and missile explosions. His ship was hit several times, but he kept flying. At the last second, Sam ejected from his fighter. The ship crashed into the command ship's bridge and exploded. The result was immediate. All the other void-born ships stopped moving for several minutes. Without their command ship telling them what to do, they didn't know how to react. Jake's fleet used those minutes to destroy 5 more alien ships. Back on the ground, Colonel Peterson was getting reports from around the world. The aliens are pulling back from the cities, one of his officers reported. But they still control the orbital space around Earth. Peterson smiled grimly. They came down here expecting to fight an army. Instead, they found millions of people who won't give up. Maya Davis had set up production lines in underground factories. She was making hundreds of the new hybrid weapons every day. Human soldiers could finally fight the void-born on equal terms. Dr. Webb finally finished his quantum virus. He uploaded it to every human computer network he could reach. Now we wait, he told Admiral Carter. If this works, it should spread to any void-born system that tries to hack our networks. The virus worked better than Webb had hoped. When void-born ships tried to scan human positions, the virus infected their computers. Alien ships started having power failures and navigation problems. Some void-born ships even crashed when their flight computers stopped working. Admiral Carter watched the battle reports coming in from around the world. Humans were winning small victories everywhere. They're more advanced than us, she said to General Hayes, but they've never fought anyone like us before. What do you mean? Hayes asked. They're used to fighting organized militaries, fleets in formation, armies in lines. But humans don't just have armies. We have billions of people who will fight with whatever they can find. The Voidborn were learning this lesson the hard way. Every time they destroyed a human military base, civilians would take over the fight. Every time they won a battle, humans would attack them from a different direction. But the real surprise came when ships arrived at the edge of the solar system. They weren't Voidborn ships. Admiral, we're getting a message from the Xanathi Empire. Rodriguez reported their fleet just arrived, and they brought coalition ships with them. Carter couldn't believe it. The Xanathi and Coalition are working together? Yes, ma'am. They say they want to form an alliance against the Voidborn. For the first time in days, Carter allowed herself to hope. Put them through. The screen showed two alien faces side by side. One was a Xanathi commander with blue skin and silver eyes. The other was a coalition leader with green scales and yellow eyes. Humans of Earth, the Xanathi said. We are Fleet Commander Zara. We have come to fight beside you. The coalition leader spoke next. I am Admiral Corax. Our species have been enemies for decades. But the Voidborn threaten all life in the galaxy. We must work together. Carter looked at the combined fleet on her screen. Hundreds of ships from 3 different species, all ready to fight together. Welcome to Earth, she said. Let's show these Voidborn what happens when the galaxy fights back. The tide of battle was turning. Humans had proven they wouldn't give up. The Xanathi and Coalition had put aside their war to fight a greater enemy. But the Voidborn had one more surprise. Waiting. Deep in space, something much larger than their invasion fleet was heading toward Earth. The real fight was about to begin. Commander Alex Turner had never worked with aliens before. He was 36 years old and had commanded human fleets for 10 years. But now he stood on the bridge of a Xanathi ship, trying to coordinate attacks with beings he couldn't even pronounce. The names of the Xanathi ships are too slow, he told Admiral Carter over the communication link. And the Coalition ships are too aggressive. They keep breaking formation. Carter was watching the battle from Earth Defense Station Alpha. The combined fleet was fighting Voidborn ships near Jupiter, but they weren't working well together. What do you suggest? Carter asked. Let each species do what they do best, Turner replied. Don't make them fight like humans. Turner had been studying the different alien fighting styles. The Xanathi were careful and methodical. They liked to plan every move. The Coalition forces were fast and liked to attack head-on. Humans were somewhere in between, but they were better at changing tactics quickly. Xanathi ships, take the left flank, Turner ordered. Move slow and steady. Coalition ships, hit them from the right side. Human ships will go through the middle and keep them confused. For the first time, the combined fleet worked like a team. The Voidborn ships found themselves surrounded by enemies using completely different fighting styles. They couldn't adapt. Fast enough. Dr. Rachel Stone was working in a medical tent on Earth's surface. She was 29 years old and specialized in studying alien biology. When human soldiers brought her a wounded Voidborn prisoner, she made a discovery that changed everything. They're not just one species, she told Colonel Peterson. They're a hive mind. Peterson looked at the alien prisoner. It was unconscious and hooked up to medical machines. What does that mean? It means they all share the same thoughts, Rachel explained. That's why they fight in patterns. They're all thinking the same way. Is that why they get confused when we change tactics? Exactly. They can't understand how we think as individuals. Rachel studied the prisoner for hours. She discovered something else important. The Voidborn had once been organic beings like humans, but they had replaced their bodies with machines and connected their minds together. They gave up their individuality for power, she told Admiral Carter, but that's also their weakness. Meanwhile, Captain Tony Mitchell was developing new tactics for the space battle. He had brought his submarine warfare experience to the fleet commanders. Space is three-dimensional, he explained to the alien captains. We can attack from above, below, anywhere. But the Voidborn only think in flat formations. Mitchell's tactics worked. Human, Xanathi, and coalition ships started attacking Voidborn. Fleets from unexpected directions. The aliens couldn't keep track of enemies coming from above and below at the same time. Engineer Maya Davis was working with alien scientists to improve their weapons. She had set up a laboratory on the Xanathi flagship where humans and aliens worked together. Your energy technology is more advanced than ours, she told the Xanathi engineer Kalara. But our targeting systems are more flexible. Together, they created new weapons that combined the best of both technologies. The new guns could punch through Voidborn shields and track multiple targets at once. The Coalition contributed their own technology, shields that could change frequency to block different types of weapons. Combined with human tactics and Xanathi precision, the alliance was becoming stronger every day. Admiral Frank Cooper arrived from the outer colonies with what remained of Earth's deep space fleet. He was 48 years old and had gray hair from years of commanding long voyages. His ships were damaged, but his crews were experienced. The Voidborn have been destroying everything in their path, Cooper told the Alliance commanders. But they're not as invincible as they want us to think. We hurt them at Kepler Station. Cooper had fought the Voidborn before and learned their weaknesses. He shared this knowledge with the Alliance fleet. They regenerate their ships using nanotechnology, he explained. But if you hit them with electromagnetic pulses, the nanobots stop working. The Alliance started using EMP weapons in every battle. Voidborn ships would get damaged and then couldn't repair themselves. Lieutenant Sam Rodriguez had survived his suicide mission against the Voidborn command ship. He was now leading a squadron of mixed human and alien fighters. Working with pilots from 3 different species was challenging, but Sam was learning. Xanathi pilots are careful, he told his human wingmates. They never take unnecessary risks. Coalition pilots are brave, but sometimes too aggressive. We need to balance both styles. Sam's mixed squadron became one of the most effective units in the fleet. They used Xanathi planning, coalition courage, and human adaptability to win battles. That seemed impossible. Dr. Marcus Webb had been working with alien scientists to improve his quantum virus. The Voidborn had started defending against it, but Webb found new ways to make it spread. Their hive mind is actually a quantum network, he explained to the Alliance scientists. If we can disrupt that network, their coordination will collapse. Webb and his team created a new version of the virus that specifically attacked hive mind connections. When it worked, entire Voidborn fleets would suddenly start flying in random directions. Commander Turner was coordinating the largest space battle in galactic history near the Kepler Nebula. Thousands of ships from 4 different species were fighting in a cloud of gas and dust. Use the nebula, Turner ordered. Hide in the gas clouds and attack when they can't see you coming. The battle lasted for 12 hours. The Alliance lost many ships, but they destroyed twice as many Voidborn vessels. More importantly, they captured a Voidborn intelligence ship intact. Dr. Stone studied the captured ship and made a terrible discovery. They're not just trying to conquer the galaxy, she told Admiral Carter. They're trying to cleanse it. They think all organic life is a disease that needs to be cured. How do we stop something like that? Carter asked. We have to reach their central command. The whole hive mind is controlled from one location. But finding that location would be nearly impossible. The Voidborn had hidden their command center somewhere in the vast galaxy. The answer came from an unexpected source. The captured Voidborn ship contained star charts showing every system the hive mind had conquered. At the center of their territory was a system marked with symbols that none of the Alliance scientists could read. That has to be it, Turner said. Their home base. Admiral Cooper studied the charts. It's defended by thousands of ships. We'd need our entire fleet to have any chance. Then that's what we'll use, Carter decided. But as the Alliance prepared for their final assault, long-range sensors detected something terrifying. A massive Voidborn super-weapon was moving toward Earth. It's a planet killer, the sensor operator reported. If it reaches Earth, it will destroy the entire planet. Carter felt ice in her veins. The Voidborn weren't just trying to defeat humanity. They were planning to eliminate them completely. How long until it reaches Earth? She asked. 6 days. Turner looked at the star charts again. We can't reach their home base and get back in time to stop the planet killer. Then we have to split our forces, Carter decided. Some ships stay to defend Earth. The rest attack their command center. It was a desperate plan. If either mission failed, billions would die. Admiral Cooper volunteered to lead the attack on the Voidborn home base. I've been fighting them the longest. I know their tactics. Lieutenant Rodriguez volunteered for the most dangerous mission of all, flying into the planet killer to sabotage it from inside. It's a suicide mission, Carter warned him. Maybe, Sam replied, but someone has to try. The Alliance fleet prepared to split up for 2 impossible missions. They would either save the galaxy or die trying. Dr. Webb made one final improvement to his quantum virus. This version will spread through their entire network, he told Cooper. But you have to upload it directly to their central command computer. Consider it done, Cooper replied as the ships prepared to leave. Representatives from all 3 species gathered on Earth's surface. They stood in the ruins of New York City, where Colonel Peterson had first fought the Voidborn. Whatever happens, Admiral Carter told them, we fought together. We proved that different species can work as one. The Xanathi commander nodded. Your species has taught us much about adaptation and courage. The Coalition Admiral agreed. Humans do not give up. This is a valuable trait. Carter looked up at the sky where thousands of ships from 3 worlds were preparing for battle. Let's finish this. The final battle for the galaxy was about to begin. Lieutenant Sam Rodriguez flew his fighter toward the Voidborn planet killer. The massive weapon was the size of a small moon, covered in dark metal and purple energy conduits. Behind him, 24 other pilots followed in formation. This is Rodriguez to all pilots, Sam said into his radio. Remember the plan. We go in fast, plant the bombs on the main power core, then get out. But everyone knew the truth. A planet killer was too well defended. Most of them wouldn't make it home. Sam thought about his family on Earth as purple beams filled the space around his fighter. His sister was probably in a bunker somewhere, waiting to see if the planet would survive the next few hours. I won't let you down, he whispered. At the same time, Admiral Frank Cooper was leading the main fleet toward the Voidborn home system. 500 ships from Earth, the Xanathi Empire, and the coalition of free worlds flew together through hyperspace. Fleet status report. Cooper ordered. Commander Alex Turner was coordinating the different alien forces. Xanathi ships are in formation and ready. Coalition forces are eager to fight. Human ships are standing by. Cooper looked at the star charts one more time. They were about to attack the heart of the Voidborn Empire. If they failed, there would be no second chance. Dr. Webb, is the virus ready? Cooper asked. Dr. Marcus Webb was on the flagship, carrying the quantum virus that could destroy the void-born hive mind. A virus is loaded and ready to upload. But I have to get close to their central computer. We'll get you there, Cooper promised. On Earth, Admiral Lisa Carter was watching both missions from her command center. President Lara White stood beside her. The president was 50 years old and had been elected just before the war started. She had never expected to lead Earth through an alien invasion. How long until the planet killer is in range? President White asked. 3 hours, Carter replied. If Lieutenant Rodriguez can't stop it, we'll have to evacuate as many people as possible. And if Admiral Cooper's mission fails, then the Voidborn will rebuild their forces and try again. This is our only chance to end this war. Private Danny Clark was 22 and guarding the evacuation center in Chicago. He had joined the Army right after the invasion started. Now he was helping load civilians onto transport ships. Don't worry, he told a scared little girl. The heroes are going to save us. Danny hoped he was right. Sam Rodriguez's squadron reached the planet killer's outer defenses. Hundreds of small void-born fighters swarmed out to meet them. The space around the massive weapon became a deadly light show of purple and white energy beams. Break formation, Sam ordered. Use your speed. Don't let them surround you. Human fighters were smaller and more agile than void-born ships. Sam's pilots used this advantage, diving and weaving between the alien fighters. But there were many enemies. One by one, Sam's pilots were shot down. Their voices crackled over the radio as their ships exploded. Rodriguez, there are too many of them, one pilot called out. Keep going, Sam replied. We have to reach the power core. Sam's fighter was hit by a purple beam. Alarms started screaming in his cockpit. His left engine was dead, and his shields were failing. I'm hit, he told his remaining pilots. But I can still fly. Only 6 fighters were left when they reached the planet killer's surface. They flew through a canyon between massive weapon towers, searching for the main power core. There, Sam's wingman pointed out, that structure in the center. The power core was a huge crystal that glowed with purple energy. It was surrounded by defensive turrets and energy barriers. This is as far as we go together, Sam told his pilots. I'll take the core. You cover my escape. Sam, that's suicide, his wingman protested. Maybe, but if I don't try, Earth dies. Sam dove his damaged fighter toward the power core. Purple beams crossed in front of him. His ship was hit again and again. Pieces of his fighter broke off and spun away into space at the last second. Sam ejected from his fighter and activated the emergency rocket pack on his spacesuit. His ship crashed into the power core and exploded. The explosion started a chain reaction. Energy conduits throughout the planet killer began overloading. The massive weapon started to shake itself apart. Sam's rocket pack carried him away from the explosion, but he was badly hurt. His radio was broken, and his oxygen was running low. At least Earth is safe, he thought as darkness closed in around him. Meanwhile, Admiral Cooper's fleet had reached the Voidborn home system. What they found there was beyond anything they had imagined. The system contained thousands of Voidborn, ships orbiting an artificial planet made entirely of metal and machinery. At the center of the planet was a massive tower that pulsed with quantum energy. That's their hive mind center, Dr. Webb said. Everything they think comes from that tower. Cooper studied the enemy formations. They're not expecting us. All their ships are in defensive positions around the planet. Should we use the element of surprise? Commander Turner asked. No. We go in fighting. Show them we're not afraid. The Alliance fleet charged straight at the Voidborn home system. The battle that followed shook the fabric of space itself. Zenith ships fired their heavy weapons with careful precision. Coalition forces attacked with wild courage. Human ships darted between the larger vessels, striking at weak points and causing confusion. The Voidborn fought back with everything they had. Their ships launched clouds of purple energy that dissolved anything they touched. But the Alliance kept coming. Admiral Cooper's flagship took heavy damage as it fought through the Voidborn defenses. His bridge was filled with smoke and sparks. "We have to reach that tower," Cooper told his crew, "no matter what it costs." Dr. Webb was preparing to upload his virus when the ship shook from another hit. "I need to get closer to the tower. The quantum field is too strong for remote transmission. Turner, get us a path to the surface." Cooper ordered. Commander Turner coordinated a massive assault on the Voidborn planet. Alliance ships sacrificed themselves to clear a path for Cooper's flagship. The ship crashed through the planet's atmosphere and landed near the base of the hive mind tower. Cooper and a team of Marines escorted Dr. Webb through the alien structure. Inside the tower, they found something horrifying. Thousands of Voidborn were connected to machines by cables and wires. They stood motionless, their eyes glowing with purple light. "The entire species is here," Webb whispered. "They've all given up their individual minds." At the center of the chamber was a massive computer that hummed with quantum energy. Webb approached it carefully and began connecting his equipment. "The virus is uploading," he reported. "But their security systems are fighting it." Voidborn. Soldiers suddenly appeared at the chamber entrances. Cooper and his Marines fought desperately to protect Webb while he worked. "How much longer?" Cooper shouted over the sound of weapons fire. "Almost there," Webb replied. "Just a few more seconds." The virus finished uploading just as the chamber filled with Voidborn soldiers. Webb's computer screen showed the virus spreading through the hive mind network. All around them, the connected Voidborn began to collapse. The purple light faded from their eyes. For the first time in centuries, they were thinking as individuals again. But freedom was too much for minds that had been connected for so long. One by one, the Voidborn simply shut down. They chose to die rather than live as separate beings. The hive mind tower began to collapse. Cooper grabbed Webb and ran for their ship as the entire structure fell around them. In space, the Voidborn fleets suddenly stopped fighting. Without the hive mind to coordinate them, the ships drifted aimlessly. Some fired randomly. Others simply went dark. The war was over. Back at Earth, search and rescue teams found Sam Rodriguez floating unconscious. In space, his oxygen had run out, but the rescue ship's medical team brought him back to life. When Sam woke up in the hospital, Admiral Carter was there waiting. "Did we win?" Sam asked weakly. "We won," Carter smiled. "Earth is safe. The galaxy is free." 6 months later, representatives from dozens of species gathered on Earth for the signing of the Galactic Peace Treaty. President White stood before the assembly and spoke about the future. "This war taught us that different species can work together," she said. "We are stronger when we stand united." The treaty established Earth as the capital of the new Galactic Alliance. Humans, Xenathi, coalition members, and many other species would work together to explore the galaxy and protect each other. Admiral Carter was elected as the first commander of the Alliance Defense Force. Captain Norrison became her second in command. Dr. Webb led the new Galactic Science Council. Colonel Peterson was put in charge of training Alliance Marines. He taught soldiers from many species how to work together and adapt to any situation. Maya Davis opened the galaxy's first multi-species technology institute. Engineers from dozens of worlds came to learn how to combine different technologies. Sam Rodriguez became a flight instructor, teaching pilots from many species how to work as teams. He never talked much about his mission to the planet killer, but young pilots looked up to him as a hero. Private Benny Clark was promoted to sergeant, and assigned to protect the new Galactic Council building. He stood guard while representatives from across the galaxy worked to keep the peace. Dr. Rachel Stone continued studying alien biology, but now she focused on helping species understand each other rather than finding ways to fight. 5 years after the war,